welcome to the Pixel Tavern podcast, Pub Talk. I'm here with Phil Hampson.
Hello.
Kurt Hamilton.
It's Matheson, but yeah, okay.
And I'll be the host today, Nick Hill. Hello.
So today we're going to be talking about a very recent release. Nick, what are we talking about today?
Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
The best game of the year.
So just a heads up, this will contain spoilers in this podcast. So yeah, if you haven't completed it, don't go listening to this.
Just think about it as you hear someone on the other side of the pub talking about stuff you don't want to hear about, and you get pissed off and just have a go at us.
Pretty accurate description of what this will be. So yeah, all three of us completed it about 2 or 3 days apart. Each of us was, I think. So yeah, Nick is the first person completing it, and I'd probably say the person who's probably got the most experience with the Uncharted franchise.
Yeah, only a little bit. Well, I got it day one, and I booked 2 days off work so I can complete it.
Well, we all got it day one, but not one of us booked time off.
Yeah, so I did it in 2 sittings. I spent about 6-7 hours on the first day and did about the same time on the second day. This game is amazing. Where to begin? I kind of think of it as an accumulation of all the 3 Uncharted games into one. It's very much begins like Uncharted 2 and finishes very much like Uncharted 1, with set pieces similar to how 3 played out. So it's basically a perfect mix of all Uncharted games and has a fitting end to Nathan Drake's storyline. Phil, what do you think of it?
Yeah, man, I mean, I've played all the Uncharteds and even the Vita one, Golden Abyss, which was good as well. When I first started playing the franchise, especially with the first one, I just thought it was a bit... I mean, I could see what they were going for, but it just didn't feel like it was quite there yet. It was a bit too much just constant shooting and not really enough of what the other games brought in. The second one was great. That one really picked it up, I thought, brought in more puzzle elements, and like the crazy set pieces really came into their own. The third kind of went backwards a bit. It was still good, but the fourth just brought it back completely, and it just everything about it was just all of the games combined into a much better version. Like everything was better graphically, acting wise. Just every set piece, you were just on the edge of your seat, just like, this is awesome. Like what's the first one I'm thinking of? Like the one that was in the E3 demo where you were just sliding along in the mud, climbing up the rope. That was just the same. Like when I was first playing it, I was like, this is the train and the truck scene from the second one combined into one in level of awesome.
I think that's more of the truck scene with the adrenaline rush. Literally, that bit is the truck chase times 10.
Yeah.
Kurt, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I obviously played through it, completed it. Thought, this is good. Yeah. If I was to rate them, probably 4 would probably be the top one at the moment. 3 was kind of meh. But it's funny because I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider recently, and I noticed a lot of similarities between the two. I don't know if you've noticed that, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because I played it straight after finishing Uncharted 4, and I was like, okay, I'll play a bit of Rise of the Tomb Raider because, I can. And then, like, there's bits where you, like, swing on ropes and stuff, like, on Uncharted 4, and they've got a very similar, like, mechanic in Rise of the Tomb Raider. And then there's bits where you're sliding down hills all the time. Again, very similar.
But the question is, what's better?
Yeah, I mean, like, as Kurt said, me and him have both been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider lately. And, I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider, you can kind of tell it did influence the fourth, but the Uncharted and Tomb Raider franchises, that's all they've ever done, is influence each other as they build up. Like, the new Tomb Raider is definitely based off of the Uncharted franchise, you can tell.
See, this is why I didn't have a problem with the original, well, not the original Tomb Raider, the remake of Tomb Raider, the first one. When you're stranded on the island. It was very Uncharted 1, but then you couldn't be angry at it because Uncharted nicked a lot from Tomb Raider. So it was kind of that mixed bag where, like, that game, I did like it, but I dropped it the first time I played it because I got really annoyed at Lara Croft, because instead of her doing like these big set pieces and having like a cocky attitude about it, she just moans constantly. And it just got annoying. That if she had a bit more of a personality to her, I think I would have liked the game a lot more.
Okay.
I used to just get, it's just the way, it was just, they tried to make like these big set pieces a lot more serious, and it just didn't work as well for me as what Uncharted did. Not to say it's a bad game, I do like the first Tomb Raider. I think it's really well done. It's just, after coming off Uncharted, it just wasn't the same experience.
I think they're very,
if you know what I mean.
Very different. Like, it's essentially a reboot, and they did sort of try and copy some of the Uncharted elements, I find, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I treat them as both different games. I know what you mean, though. The only thing I didn't like about one is literally like everything broke. Like you just run around like, oh, this is a bridge, it's gonna fall apart. Oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like every set piece in the first Tomb Raider was her falling down a hill.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's very true.
And QTEs.
Like it was her like sliding down these mud, but the only difference one was when she was on the parachute and the plane like flies above her. I think I'm getting two things mixed up here. But when you're on the parachute and you glide through the trees,
yeah,
it's exactly the same, but you're flying instead of sliding down the hill.
I gotta say, Rise of the Tomb Raider is a lot different. So I'm getting off topic. There's a lot different to the first one in terms of its like set pieces. Like there's only been a few times where things are just falling apart, but most of the time it is just like traversing around and stuff. It's pretty cool. But the voice acting's a little bit annoying, but I'll get onto that later. So.
Yeah, the acting in Rise of the Tomb Raider, like just some of the facial animations and everything, especially after playing Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
It's just pretty poor. It just looks really lame, and it's so cheesy at times. You're just like, yeah, can't take this seriously.
I think you gotta give it a bit of slack though, because it did come out like, was it 8 months ago now?
Rise of the Tomb Raider, yeah.
On Xbox One, it came out like Uncharted 4 has had so many more months to improve on the formula, like,
and probably a much bigger budget as well.
Yeah. Like, because obviously with this Xbox exclusively, being exclusive on Xbox, like I'm not going to be able to play Rise of the Tomb Raider until like this December. So,
I play.
I definitely got to pick up, but I got to go into it with a clear mind and not think about Uncharted 4 because this game came out way before Uncharted 4.
Speaking of the Xbox One, like that's the only thing that stopped me from buying one so far, is because I got Rise of the Tomb Raider on PC. Thinking, I'll just get all the games that come out, but yeah, so far they've all just been coming to PC, the ones I'm interested in. The ones that haven't come out to PC is like Halo, I guess. That's about it.
Yeah.
So like,
and speaking of the Halo, actually, you know the Forge system on Halo, like when you build your own maps, they're actually bringing that to Windows 10, just as an individual download, and then you can play online with your friends.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
It kind of is coming to PC.
So I'll carry on with Uncharted. What did you guys think of the story?
It was, I mean, with Uncharted games, like the story's always been, it's been there, but it's not really been that big of a deal. What it is kind of just like, you know, Nathan Drake's going for this, like he's going for this artifact, he's going to go get it. You don't play it or enjoy it for that. But Uncharted 4, the actual story was pretty interesting as well, and like the whole like back and forth between his brother and, you know, the relationship between the two of them was interesting, and the fact that like with his wife as well, it sounds weird, but I thought that was an interesting part of the story as well, is how he's like blind to his wife so he can go into like this big adventure again, which was interesting, I thought. Yeah,
him and Elena's relationship is really weird. Like obviously they're finally married now. That's what I said a couple years back when the game was first being announced. I think I spoke to you about this, Phil. Saying that I pray to God that him and Elena aren't split apart again.
Yeah.
Because they get together on Uncharted 1, like in the second one they've broken up. In the third one they're they're pretty much divorced, and then they get back together again. But I liked how they were actually together in this, and they actually had a relationship. And you can very much see that Naughty Dog have taken a lot of influence from The Last of Us, and they've learned a lot from The Last of Us, and they've brought it into an Uncharted game.
Yeah, so. It's the same writer and director, isn't it?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is. But like, you can just tell by how seamlessly cutscenes play out, and how the acting and the camera angles, like everything is just so fluent, and it all melds together perfectly. And you can tell by all the character development and stuff like that. The storytelling's a lot more. It's not dark for an Uncharted, but it is a darker Uncharted game compared to the others. It's not a dark game, so you still get the cocky Nathan Drake, but it's a lot more grounded in its storytelling.
You spoke about the cutscenes there. There's a website that basically tests how well a game runs, and they actually looked into how the cutscenes flow together. And it's because the entire game is built in-game engine, so all the cutscenes aren't videos, they're the actual game running that footage.
That's always been with Uncharted then.
Yeah, it was with the old ones, but it's just even more impressive in this one because of how detailed they look. There's only very, very small scenes that are video, and that's why it just flows so well. It's just continuous flow of content, right? It's amazing.
I am gonna say about something that did bug me about the story. It's a nitpick. It is a very big nitpick, but it's just for consistency. Sam, he can exist, but there's something where, like in Uncharted 3, Marlowe sits Drake down, and it talks about his family lineage, and talks about how he's like he lived in an orphanage, and how his parents like passed away and stuff like that. And she kind of goes through all his family members except for Sam. Sam is not mentioned. But this is just a slight nitpick. Like, she could have just not known about him or whatnot. You can make your own headcanon over that.
He was very clearly added because they wanted to use Troy Baker.
Yeah,
That's the only
exactly.
reason he was put in the game.
But then the same thing. I've got the same nitpick with Uncharted 3, whereas you know the ring Drake has in Uncharted 1. He finds Sir Francis Drake's body, and he drops the ring. He gets rid of it, and but it's not until Elena picks it up later on and gives it back to him. But if Drake was willing to get rid of his ring so easily, he's obviously forgetting about his big plan he was meant to do in Uncharted 3.
Sorry, I kind of couldn't help myself when you said when he got rid of his ring. Okay.
But like, it's just one of those things where you can make headcanon over that, saying, in the moment he felt like Sir Francis Drake should have had this ring, and just totally forgot about everything that was going to happen down the line. But like I said, they're just small nitpicks. Like, it doesn't take away from the story whatsoever. Kurt, what did you think of the story?
I thought it was good. I had another pressing matter though. How big do you think Sully's penis is? Because like the amount of like history he has with women, like, because I don't know how he does it. Like, he's really old, and like he still manages to, like, you know.
Oh, come on, Kurt! Not
have
like
that
you wouldn't
effect on
sleep
women.
with Sully. Look at the man.
Yeah, Sully. You know, grey-haired Sully.
Look at that mustache,
So
man.
where did you get his penis from in like Uncharted 4 storyline?
But not so far the Uncharted storyline. It's just more like he's really
You're
old.
just curious about his penis.
He's really old in Uncharted 4. Because obviously the game progresses past the third and stuff. I'm looking at him and it's like, he's still managing to like sort of charm his way through in that party, you know, like, how does he do that? He must just, everyone just must know that he has a massive penis. That must be what it is.
Well, I'll give you a real world reference. Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Right? He, till this day, is a suave bastard.
Suave.
Like, my Bristolian, if I pronounce it right,
Suave.
it's full
Suave,
Bristolian.
mate, suave.
But like,
Suave.
but like, he slept with everybody, because obviously he's James Bond, isn't he? He slept with every Bond girl he worked with.
Really?
Yeah, and then afterwards, literally, there was an interview when he was like 80 odd, and he was just chatting up the hostess. Like, he's just a charmer. Like, it's hilarious.
He was Bond,
as well.
so I suppose he has to be.
Well, it's just the way he is. He's literally the definition of Bond, Roger Moore.
Yeah. I'm not a massive James Bond fan, but I do like Roger Moore. He's cool.
Yeah, I really liked how Uncharted was pirate themed this time around. Have you noticed, like, Naughty Dog have a pattern with their video games? Not so much Jack and Daxter, but if you look at Crash Bandicoot, the first Crash Bandicoot was set on an island. Uncharted 1 was set on an island. And Crash Bandicoot 2 was like set very much in, like, it was very much more snowy, like snowy environments. Uncharted 2 was basically in the snow, and then the third one was very much desert environments, which is the same with Uncharted 3. So I'm going to put a bet, if they made a Crash Bandicoot 4, it would have been fully pirates.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot Pirates would be amazing.
But I love Uncharted 4 because it's war.
While we're on the topic of Crash Bandicoot, actually, let's just mention the best Easter egg in any game ever. The Crash Bandicoot moment.
That must have cost them shed loads of money.
Yeah, the deal with Activision must have cost a lot to do that.
That was such a good Easter egg, but I got that ruined for me, so that was good.
Oh,
Did you really?
no.
Fucking
Literally, I went mental when I saw that, because when they were doing that, had the controllers in their hand, like, because I knew there was a big Easter egg. 'Cause you said before, like, look out for this. There's something big that you'll love in it. I was like, okay. So when he was sat down with the controller, I was like, okay, this is going to be Jack and Daxter, isn't it? Like, it would no way be something else. And I just thought it'd be a video clip, you know? But the fact that you could actually play the border level of Crash Bandicoot, literally, my mind was blown on that moment. That automatically made Uncharted 4 the best game in the franchise.
just to check, I mean, you guys are a bit more familiar with Crash Bandicoot than me, but
yep, love them.
Was that the
Crash
original
Bandicoot
game? Do you think, or do you think they rebuilt it?
That's a level from the game.
That was lit. Do you think the
glitches are still in the game?
Really?
There's literally, I was trying to master it, and there's literally, if you go too close to one of the edges, the pit, there's an invisible wall, and it makes the border catch up with you. That's in the original game as well.
So they're literally it's just a port put into the game. That's
I'm pretty sure they probably touched it up here or there, but yeah, it was taken probably from their Naughty Dog, like their archives or whatever.
Did either of you beat Elena's score?
I nearly did, but like I said, I kept getting that glitch, and I got really pissed off, so I just finished the level.
Have you, Kurt?
I think there's a trophy for beating her score.
I tried, but I kind of just got bored and gave up. I don't know if it's actually possible to do it or not.
No, it is. There is actually a trophy for it. I've seen like articles on it online. I've not read them, but it says like, here's how to beat Elena's score. It's like, apparently it's a lot easier to do it when you're his daughter at the end.
Okay.
I could see that because my score was like 10 times better as a daughter.
Just heads up, we did say this would have spoilers, so I'm not afraid to say that.
Oh no, it's fine. Spoil all you want.
Well, people are gonna like.
To be fair, everyone who wants to play Uncharted have played Uncharted.
If you don't put any wording in the description, when people listen to this, they're gonna just tear you to pieces, Phil.
Aim at what, Phil? He ruined the Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
Like, that bit when Sully dies. Oh god.
He dies again.
That is a good point, actually.
He doesn't
Getting
die
onto the topic of Sully dying, on topic with Sully dying, it, like Nick, you said in every single game he's had that, oh my god, Sully's died, but he hasn't really.
Only Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 3.
Oh, okay, didn't. So it's basically every sequel he doesn't nearly die in then.
Sully's not really in Uncharted 2. He's only in really one sequence.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, Uncharted 1, he gets shot, and the diary of Sir Francis Drake saves him.
Oh yeah.
And in the third one, Nathan Drake gets drugged by the water, and he thinks Sully gets killed.
Oh yeah.
But it turns out he's absolutely fine.
Just off his
it's happened twice.
Drugs.
If you wanted to kill Sully off, it should have been the third one, because the third one's very much a Nate and Sully story. So once they copped out there, Sully's not going to die.
Yeah.
So. And if they did that again on Uncharted 4, I would have hated it. Because like Sully's my favourite character. So that was the fitting end for him. Anything now is just a cop-out.
Yeah. On to a quick subject, actually. With, obviously, Uncharted, it's Naughty Dog is finished with it. But this is a franchise that makes so much money, Sony isn't going to want to let it die. So what do we think is going to happen? Are we going to get an Uncharted 5?
Naughty Dog have already been clear saying people can take over if it's good enough. That they can take over. And think about it, we've already had it Uncharted by another company.
Yeah.
Which is Scorn Abyss, which is actually, I've got, my opinion's not the popular one, but that's my third favourite Uncharted game.
It was a very good game.
I really like it. It's the one I played the most out of all of them, to be honest, but that's because I used to travel a lot and I just play Uncharted on the train.
To be honest, I'm surprised they didn't put it in the Nathan Drake collection. I was kind of hoping they would.
There is a reference to Scorn Abyss in Nathan Drake's room in Uncharted 4.
Really?
There's a box with all, which has the treasure. I forgot what the name of the character is, but the treasure you're looking for. There's a box with the name of that person on it.
Oh, right.
As well as a note for Chase, which is the main girl from Scorn Abyss. And there's a note saying "send this to Chase" on the top, but her full name I think is like Fernanda.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a name, a little note tag to get sent to her, which I kind of jizzed over when I found that.
What's your input on the PS Vita one, Gert?
The good thing about my PS Vita is it has water damage, so I can't play any games on it at the moment. But when I did have a chance to play Scorn Abyss, it was really good. I got to I'm trying to think now. Nick, you would probably know. The bit where like you're in these sort of dark tunnels and you got to try and work out these clues to get out. You remember that bit?
Have you met Sully yet?
No.
All right, you're probably right next to when everything goes to shit and Nathan has to get Sully involved.
Possibly. I just remember you meet up with this girl and then you do all this random stuff, and then my Vita died, and then it's like, oh, that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
I like Golden Abyss because there's this great moment. I think it's a small moment, but it's one of my favorite Uncharted moments. And it's literally all it is you're in this big cave and you're just rowing through like this ravine.
Is that in Vita? Is it?
Yeah, with Chase. It's just you and you're this big cave with like water surrounding you everywhere, and you're just rowing.
Yeah.
And it's just really like the music's just amazing on that moment.
Nice.
It's just very small, but I really like it. It's very atmospheric.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't remember that game too well. It's been so long since I played it, but I do remember it being good. It's about all I can remember.
Yeah, a lot of people would say it's the worst Uncharted, but I think it's up there. I think it's great. It's not many set pieces, but it's very much a very condensed story, and I prefer the Uncharted when you're just on an island. Like I like the big set pieces. Like 2 is great. Its set pieces are absolutely amazing, but 3 kind of went a bit over the top for me.
That plane sequence was cool though.
The plane's cool, but the boat was a bit too much. Like I like the ending of the boat sequence, but it just went on for way too long.
To be honest, I would agree with you there actually.
With the 4th one, it's very there isn't as many as 3, and the moments are shorter, except for one massive one in the middle.
Which everything is worth
else,
it.
Yeah, which is great, but everything else is smaller, and it's very much the ending on the island. That's the bit I think is the greatest bit of the game, because it's very much Uncharted 1. You explore an island and looking for this treasure, which is what Uncharted's all about. Not like 2 was very centralized, as in you went to 2 areas and then you're on your big island, which is obviously when you start in the city and you work your way up to the mountains. 3 was all over the world, and it was just a bit too much for me. Like,
the 4th went all over the world as well, but it did it a bit more tastefully.
Yeah, but that's me. But you're around the world for the first half of the game, and then the second half is very much you're on this one island. So that's why I mean it's a mix of all the games. Like the beginning's very 2 and 3, and the ending's very 1.
Yeah,
I just miss
Which
Carter.
is funny. I mean, sorry, you carry on, Kurt.
I was just saying, I just miss Carter. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Carter, yeah.
AKA,
he
also
mentions
known as
him, doesn't he, at the start?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you brought in Charlie and Chloe, then it would have just the cast would have been way too big.
I thought having it as a smaller cast worked quite well, because it was meant to be focused on Sam and Drake, and Nathan, not Drake.
Oh, talking about Sam, what do you think of Sam?
Oh well, I quite like Troy Baker, so I thought it worked quite well. But I can see where people wouldn't have liked him at the same time.
I'm very mixed on Sam. I liked him at the beginning because I liked their little back and forths. But as soon as he betrayed me, there was no going back.
What a dick.
I was like, you do not do that. Because I felt for him. Like, he's been locked in prison for years and years. Like, I pretty much, like, he didn't sacrifice himself, but it was like a big, like, traumatic event for Drake. And Drake's storyline literally is the soul of Uncharted. Like, so I really care for the characters within Uncharted. So as soon as he just, like, it was all a massive bullshit, I was just like, Sam, you can fuck off. Essentially. But he kind of he doesn't really redeem himself. Like, you'd think, because he gets this kind of, like, I'm going to call it treasure sickness, where he gets obsessed with the adventure, like Nathan went through in Uncharted 3. That's essentially what Sam has in Uncharted 4. But he doesn't redeem himself. Like, Nathan, like, gave up his life for Elena. He's, like, literally just got a dead-end job, and he kind of he wants to be a family man now. But Sam just carries on after the game. He carries on. He goes off for Sully. He doesn't redeem himself.
See, to be honest, I think that's what Naughty Dog were planning on.
A massive
make
penis,
fit,
and it just draws in all the attention. Sam's just there like, oh, Sully, okay, let's go on an adventure. Let's make lots of money.
But I do like the very brotherly centric story. I do like it when it's a bit more about brotherhood and stuff like that. So I do like him as a character. I just thought, fuck you, at the end of it. But I do like the story. I was a bit more family driven, which I liked about Uncharted 3. But Uncharted 3 it went a bit too far.
Speaking of the bit where he betrays you, it does. I know Nathan Drake's been through a lot. I know he's hit into a lot of things and survived a lot of things. But he got knocked off a cliff and slammed his head into a rock.
I knew you were going to bring this
How
up.
the fuck did he survive that? Just gonna throw that one out there.
Plot device.
Yeah,
well, he needed to trigger a flashback, alright?
He did need to trigger a flashback.
But then you can say the same. He got shot.
True.
Shot a powder keg, and then survived climbing up a train
while it was collapsing off the bridge, off the edge
exactly.
of a cliff.
So it's don't look at Drake as human. 'Cause this is a video game. Like, he's going to be able to do ridiculous stuff like this. It's the same as Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like, but then Indiana Jones, he gets the shit beat out of him all the way through that film, and then he somehow does this miraculous stuff. So.
Still, my favourite scene in any Indiana Jones film is just that bit.
Surviving the nuke?
No, dear God.
Swinging through a tree with monkeys?
No, basically the bit where the guy's got the sword and doing all these tricks, and he just pulls out his gun and shoots him.
I prefer the opposite to that in Temple of Doom, when the guys do it again, but he doesn't have his gun.
Oh, yeah,
so he has to actually fight him.
But there's actually, this probably you guys already know this already, but the reason he did that is because he felt quite sick. He was meant to fight him, but I just thought that was brilliant. Actually, while we're on the topic of Indiana Jones, do you remember that YouTube video that came out at the same time as Uncharted 3, where it was meant to be him reacting to Uncharted 3? Harrison Ford reacting to it. Like, what was that all about? That wasn't real, was it? I know he didn't actually play it, did he?
Probably not.
No.
Harrison Ford is a grumpy fucker. But no, it's probably him just seeing, because they are, like, Uncharted is very much inspired by Indiana Jones and James Bond. So,
and Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, and Tomb Raider, definitely. But to bring this up, seeing I brought up James Bond, do you know the big set pieces from Uncharted 2 and 3 are copied from James Bond?
Are they?
Yeah, the train chase.
Yeah.
It's from Octopussy, and the plane moment is from Living Daylights.
Is it really? So they're like almost like exact copies, would you say?
Do you know all the cargo falls out and he hangs on the net?
Yeah.
James Bond does that in Living Daylights. But he doesn't fall off and then catch a parachute.
Yeah. And then doesn't wander in the desert for how many days is he there for?
Yeah, exactly. But you can tell there's a lot of inspiration from different movies. So, which is good. I don't mind that. I like little homages here or there. Like, so. It's not blatantly copy. You don't see Nathan Drake running around in a clown costume, well as a lion tamer running through trains like in Octopussy. So.
Yeah, I mean, and we talk quite a lot about Uncharted. We've obviously got to think about, what's next for Naughty Dog. I mean, are we going to get Last of Us 2? Do you think?
Last of Us 2,
probably in
definitely.
the works by now, but that's like a separate team, isn't it? They've got two parts of Naughty Dog.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird at the moment because they let go of a lot of staff, didn't they?
Oh, they did.
So I don't know fully what the teams are. Like, they probably still have two teams, but the heads of who worked like the big leads on Last of Us moved over to Uncharted 4. So I'm assuming they must going to move back to Last of Us.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is next for Naughty Dog in the sense of a new IP? Because if they're not going to carry on Uncharted, they've obviously got to replace it with something.
Last of Us 2.
To be fair,
that's what their next project is.
You're never going to guess what Naughty Dog's next.
Or what Uncharted kart racer.
Well, that's the thing. They broke the mold. But think about it. They went from a Bandicoot running in jeans to a space. Is Jak and Daxter is he like a space pirate? I haven't really played Jak and Daxter.
I've not really played him.
Well, like a bloke with a little whatever he is on his back. I think he's an ocelot.
Ocelot?
I think I read somewhere that Daxter was meant to be a ocelot. But anyway, and then it's just an exploration, like a guy looking for Trevor, and then a zombie apocalypse. So it's all completely random. Like,
yeah. You can't really predict what's going to be next, but I think Naughty Dog's most popular franchises, Last of Us and Uncharted now, are probably going to do something realistic-esque again. I'm
going to say something you probably thought I'd never say. I don't want Naughty Dog to make Crash Bandicoot.
How so?
I don't want them to take steps back. I don't want them to go back.
They
need to keep progressing through what they're doing at the moment. Like Crash Bandicoot, just give it to another studio. Well, Activision could probably do it if they're working close with PlayStation now. Like, I'm happy for them to do it. Or give the makers of Little Big Planet, give them Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
I don't know about
Media Molecule, aren't they? Yeah, neither do I.
But if they're working closely with PlayStation and they collab on it, it'll be fun.
I think Activision would have to be publishers, and I don't think they make very good developers personally. They'd have to get.
No.
I don't know, because you seen what they did with that fucking Crash Bandicoot. They did. It's terrible.
Yeah, but you never know. We might get Crash Bandicoot Infinite Warfare. Crash Bandicoot in space.
Either they,
I was
they do
saying
it
for
properly
years
or
Call
they
of
don't
Duty
make
was
it
going to
at
go
all,
into space.
you know.
I was right. That's why I made this massive prediction years ago with my friend, and I said, well, Halo's the big popular Xbox shooter, the big popular space shooter.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is like the modern shooter. Eventually they're going to switch.
Yeah.
I'm halfway right.
Yeah. Now all we need is for Halo to go back in time and find out
exactly.
who Master Chief really is.
Go get a Halo game in World War I.
Yeah. But as for Naughty Dog going back to Crash Bandicoot, I kind of agree with you actually. I mean, if they went back to it, I'm sure they would make a fantastic game, but I think I'd want them working on something else more. But you mentioned the Little Big Planet developer. I'm pretty sure it's Media. Is it Media Molecule, the name of that company?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think they would do a good job of it.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
If you played that game Tearaway.
I haven't. No.
That's very good, and it's very sort of solidly built platformer. I think they could do a good job of Crash.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see him do a full 3D one though, because Tearaway is still.
No, it's full 3D.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, think more like Crash Bandicoot in the way you'd move around in that.
Oh.
Not Crash Bandicoot, sorry. Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, those two names mixed into one.
I for some reason thought Tearaway was like a kind of side scroller where you cut out.
No, it's full 3D. It's a good game.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else. This game that came out where this guy had giant scissors.
Giant scissors? Do you mean the Unravel game?
Unravel was the
woolen
the wall
character.
when he runs around. No. I can't remember.
But yeah, I suppose we should get back to Uncharted, right? It's the point of the podcast. But I can't think of anything else to say about it now.
We spent a good 35 minutes talking about Uncharted.
Actually, one thing I think we should mention is the multiplayer. I played a little bit of Uncharted 2's multiplayer and didn't really get into it. But the fourth one, I don't know what it is, but it's just been improved in just that way it needed to be, and it's really good to play now. The way that if you run up and hit somebody, they don't die instantly like they do in every other shooter. You got to beat the crap out of them until they're dead.
Oh.
And you get all these cool abilities, almost like you guys played Infamous.
Yeah.
Like the abilities you get in that, you kind of get powers like that, and they're hard. They're not easy to get, and they don't ruin the battle. They're just interesting and give that player a little bit of an advantage, and it's just really cool. I mean, the environments are good. The amount of players is spot on because it just ends up in a massive brawl. The amount of times that I've played matches online and it just ends up in a hallway fight where there's just all players just facing each other and it just ends up in a massive shootdown.
They just look like a street fight.
It does, and you get people running up punching each other. You get people using the rope and swinging and landing on top of people.
Yeah.
It's very well done, and I'm glad they did it.
Now you brought up the rope, what did you think of the new mechanics in Uncharted 4? So the rope and the sliding.
I
are the
really
two
liked
big
it
ones.
actually, because it wasn't overused while also being common enough in the game to make it a real feature.
I tell you what, my favourite sequence from Uncharted 4 was, that isn't a set piece, is the big firefight on the pirate ships. So when you have to swing from ship to ship and you're shooting down at the people below.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right towards the end. It's probably
That was
the big
good.
last massive, and then it finishes with the truck chasing you.
That was a pretty cool chase scene.
Which is actually, I don't know if they're actually intending this, but that was the border chase sequence with Crash Bandicoot at the beginning was foreshadowing that. That's what I think.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
what I think. So,
What did you think of the rope mechanic, Kurt?
Oh, that was awesome. That's the thing I was drawing comparisons to with Rise of the Tomb Raider. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can just literally just whack a whip around and just go whoa. But it's very obvious. But yeah, it's cool. It's very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
it's good because that was one of the things the other game struggled with was the rope mechanic. Because anytime there was a rope in the middle of a puzzle you need to get to, it was really hard to swing. But this, they've kind of mastered it, and I love the slide. I think when you're in Scotland, and you literally the whole sequence is sliding down, jumping, sliding, jumping. I find that really fun.
It was. I like the way they were always constantly commenting on it as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have stones in my ass by the end of the week.
But no, they're great additions to the gameplay style already. Because a lot of people were complaining about how Uncharted is too samey from game to game. and it's true. Like, you are pretty much playing the same game. Like, you're still playing Uncharted 4 with improved mechanics. But I think these two do spice it up a lot better than the other games did. Because what did Uncharted 3 introduce? Shooting up from a rope.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's a lot better. Yeah, it's additions I appreciate anyway.
The real thing, like, test of how good it is for Uncharted 4 for me is all of the Uncharted games. I've enjoyed all of them, but there was moments where I was just generally like, this is a bit boring, nothing's happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't think of any off the top of my head because I haven't played them in a while, but there was generally moments where I was a bit like, this is a bit too slow. Uncharted 4 never had that for me. Every minute of it was, the story was either gripping me, the gameplay was gripping me, or just the visuals were even gripping me.
Yeah.
The others still had that, just not continuously. There was moments of boredom.
Well, it's even the quieter moments when you explore like Drake's attic.
Yeah,
and
that was interesting.
Even when you explored the mansion, and it was just, I'll tell you what, that bitch scared the living life out of me.
Did you keep thinking someone would jump out at you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, my relationship with mansions.
Oh yeah.
So, like, my favorite games are Resident Evil, so when I'm in a mansion, I always shit myself. But look, nothing happens. But I swear, I knew like there was going to be someone in the mansion, and I just thought they were going to jump out at any moment. Question is, what helmet did you wear?
I wore the. What did I start? I think I got the samurai helmet.
Yeah, that was the one I finished with as well.
One thing I do want to say about the scene though is you know like the old woman comes in, she's got the gun and everything. You know what I thought the second she came in? Lara Croft. It's like that's the connection.
I've heard a lot of people saying that. Yeah. That would be
Uncharted is set like 20 years after Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I've heard a lot of people say as well that they wanted, the ending when you're with Drake's daughter.
Yeah.
When you open the door to the house,
they
wanted that to be The Last of Us. That everyone's dying around you. Like,
that would be amazing. What if it was Joel's daughter? Do you mean?
No, but it's just Nate's daughter in the middle of the zombie apocalypse that happens later on.
Yeah. So it's in the same universe?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing, but really harsh. It's like, whoa.
Because like the fungus is in Uncharted 3.
Yeah, I've seen this like a newspaper report or something, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so. I think one of the collectibles you can get is the fungus. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's in the pub right at the start of Uncharted 3. There's a newspaper on the bar that says about the outbreak for Last of Us. But the thing is they were meant to announce The Last of Us before Uncharted 3 came out, and they never got around to doing it because it wasn't ready. Yeah. So that Easter egg was in the game, and they were worried it was going to spoil the game, but no one found out about it or reported about it until after The Last of Us was announced. So it worked well.
I do like Last of Us. Didn't like it at first, but it's a great game.
What did you think of the mansion bit, Kurt? I mean, like, I thought in this one, playing as, because you played as young Drake, Nathan Drake in the third one, and I thought it was okay, but the fourth one, it was actually pretty good.
I wasn't a big fan of the running around as, like, I don't know, I'm never really am in games. Like, I just always find those bits kind of not unnecessary, but just like I kind of just want to play as normal grown-up Drake right now. I don't really care about the past. Like you can sum that up in a cut sequence or something, but no, it's alright. It was better than when you play as in. Actually, no, I quite like the bit when you're like following Sully around. I thought that was pretty cool in the other game, but.
Oh yeah.
In this one, like, it's alright, it's cool. I didn't like it to begin with, but
it was very much
when you're in the mansion, it wasn't too bad. It was alright. But that's the bits that kind of dip for me in that game. Apart from that, though, yeah, it's alright.
I did think the so there's like you play as Nathan Drake as like a kid, and then you go to the point when they're in the prison right at the start of the game. I thought that was cool. How it was kind of like, oh, this is before Uncharted 1 now.
Those bits were pretty cool, yeah. Like you're
older.
kind of going through the different moments of his life, like in prison and stuff. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But
that prison bit though, again, little nitpick. Isn't Drake meant to be with Sully for that whole time? Sully was meant to bring him up after Uncharted 3.
Oh shit, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Like Uncharted 3 introduces that they became partners there and then. But then you do know Sam does know Sully.
Yeah.
So again, headcanon, you can throw it around to.
I will say the first bit in that game that made me laugh was when he cuts to him in the prison and he's fighting that little bloke, and then the guards come and break him up. And he goes, oh no, it's cool. We were just playing, right? Yeah. And they start dragging off the little guy, and he goes, come back when you're tall enough to ride the rides. And I was like, there we go. That's that quip. Straight in with it.
But that's the thing, because it begins very serious with that boat chase. So I think that little quip just went, yeah, we're back. We're back.
We're back to the humour.
Now, to finish off Uncharted 4 talk then, should we just rate our favourite Uncharted games? I know you guys did it earlier, but I want to put mine in there as well. So,
do you want to go first, Kurt?
So it'd be Uncharted 4 for me, then 2, 1, then 3. And I haven't played Golden Abyss properly, so I can't comment on that. So.
Okay. Phil? I mean, for me, it's definitely 4. It is the culmination of all the game's best bits put into one game. Then definitely 2, closely followed by 3. I did enjoy it, but after replaying it, I was like, yeah, definitely 2 better. And then Golden Abyss, then the first one.
Mine's unpopular. But yeah, 4 is the best one. Not by far. It's closely followed by 2, because 2 was just mind-boggling when that first came out. The improvements on that game were phenomenal. Then Golden Abyss, which would be very unpopular. Then number 1.
Ooh, even against the third.
3. Yeah. Free is a great game. Like, don't get me wrong, I love all the Uncharted games. Like, it's great if you have that as your number 1. Like, it probably deserves to be up there for different reasons than what I have. But 3 was just a bit. It was too much
short
for me.
as well. Far too short.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was too short.
I'm kind of on the fence with 3 and 1. Like, I like 1 because of it's like his origin sort of story, but then 3 is just I don't know. Mechanically, 3 is better than 1, definitely, but I don't know. I just get so bored of 3. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, with 3, like, everything was ruined for me before it came in. Like, they ruined every set piece.
A lot of advertising for it, yeah.
Yeah. And then it was just, you went in an area for too long. Like, it was too much. It was too much traveling, too much. It was just too much of everything, really. It was a good story, though. The story is great in that game. But
I mean, I would say, like Uncharted 4, back to that a second, like, the length of that game was spot on as well. Like, I felt it ended when it needed to, and it didn't drag on. I think it was about 12 to 15 hours, roughly.
That's why it's better in 2, because 2 is a similar length, but there are some moments in 2 that drag on. 4 does not drag.
That's what I mean when I was saying earlier about this moments where I was bored. Like, those other games had that, 4 just didn't.
Yeah. Because into some of the areas, especially towards the end, seemed to be they could have shortened them a lot more, really.
One thing I think we should talk about, actually, about Uncharted 4. What did you think of the sword fight at the end in the boat?
Oh, spoilers, Phil.
Room of gold. Well, we already know there's spoilers in this, man. How many things have we mentioned?
Oh.
Sam betrays you. Sam betrays you.
Spoilers, mate. Yeah.
I thought it was great. It's exciting. It's a good sword fight. Yeah, but it's just that old Uncharted trope, isn't it? Like, can you do something completely different at the end of the game?
Introduce a new mechanic right at the end. Yeah.
It was good. I thought it was dramatic. It was really good. It's better than the other boss fights in there. But then again, there's a similar boss fight at the end of Golden Abyss.
Oh shit! Yeah, there is, isn't there? Isn't with a sword though.
No, but it's a fist fight.
Yeah.
And it's very similar. So
isn't it the same mechanics? Like the same punching mechanics?
No, you swipe on the screen, but it is following where he's going to attack, and you have to swipe in that direction. So it's similar. It's not the same. It's similar.
Sorry, it's just completely off topic. That whole swiping on the screen thing really annoys me on the Vita. Especially with games like that, like, you don't need it. It's just like, it's just there.
Yeah.
It's just like, you could use the controller, but let's just swipe every action. Okay, yeah. That's the only thing that annoys me.
I'll tell you what, try playing Golden Abyss on the train.
What's that, sir?
Right, try playing Golden Abyss on the train.
What?
Because there's one puzzle where you have to put the Vita to a light.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I had to stand up on the train with people, like, looking at me and go, here we go.
That's my issue with, like, when things make when a game or a piece of hardware makes you have to physically do something to succeed, it's just not working.
Immersive.
It's just not worth it. I think that's
It's
just
immersive.
why they're connected we pick up, but there you go.
Just a little random topic here. So I'll start with it. What was the favourite game you've ever completed on a train? Mine was Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I did the final Peace Walker battle on a train, and it was amazing. I had my headphones on and everything, and was just completely in the zone fighting Peace Walker. And just thought it was amazing that I completed it on a train. You guys ever completed something on a train before?
My big one, obviously, I completed Golden Abyss before I was on the train, so I can't class that really, but I have completed it on a train. Mine is Mario Kart 7.
Oh, what you guys in the
I completed
3DS one, isn't it?
All the cups, even the reverse cup. It's first Mario Kart I've actually completed 100%.
Oh, nice.
Like, well, not 100%, but like as in got all the everything on there, and that's why Mario Kart 7 is my favorite Mario Kart.
Mine is...
What about you, Kurt?
Well, I don't really finish... I played games on and off on the trains because I used to travel back and forth from Birmingham quite a lot, so... But I just ended up playing, like, PlayStation All-Star. It's like games that you can complete in, like, 20 minutes, you know? I was just playing that all the time, like, oh yeah, just run around as fucking Parappa the Rapper, yeah.
Well, we do know it's better in Smash Brothers. So. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm really joking about that.
Cut that out, Pete. Cut that out.
No, it is better, Phil.
I did wonder as well with the PlayStation All Stars game. I really thought they would do a sequel because it wasn't bad, to be fair. It needed polish, but so did the very first Smash Bros. But like, it's just a shame they never really decided to carry it on.
It was good for a first attempt.
It was a bit too blatant of a copy of Smash Bros. I think they could have tried and be maybe a little more original with it, but it was still
Phil,
work.
it's totally different. To kill people, you need to kill them with your special attack.
Yeah,
right?
God. I will admit though, that game had some cool courses and like it combined like Bioshock with Uncharted 3, for example.
Was it Ludicolo and Metal Gear Rising?
Yeah, that was it. Yes, it's like what? It did make me laugh though that you could tell they were so desperate to put Snake in it. They were like, but we can't. He's in Smash Bros. Put Raiden in there.
The problem I had with All Stars was they spent too much time on modern characters. So you had the modern Dante, you had Metal Gear Rising was just coming out around the corner, so you had Raiden from Rising. I think you should have put a couple more classics in there.
Yeah,
really, and then it would have been perfect.
My main
They could have
issue
the
is
guy
that they
from
didn't
Medieval
have the
in
right voice actor voicing Snake. Like, it should have been Kiefer Sutherland, because he's the voice of Snake, isn't he? Obviously. Like, I was playing all the old Metal Gears the other day, and I was like, who's this David Hayter? Like, why is he, what's going on?
I think we're going to have to do a whole other podcast on Metal Gear 5, Kurt, because there's way too much shit to talk about that game.
But, like,
Don't get
no,
me started.
I'm just saying, you know, like, voice acting wise, like, I played 5 and I was like, I haven't played the other ones in a while.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he sounds like. Oh, he sounds completely
Speaking
different.
of which-
That must be the right voice actor, obviously. Go back and play the other ones.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, it's
You're a
just
prick.
someone else, David Hayter. Oh, maybe David Hayter's
Off
original
top.
voice actor. Maybe Kiefer Sutherland isn't. Yeah. Anyway,
The pain in your voice when you're saying
Oh,
that,
man.
even when you're trying to bullshit.
yeah. It's a fucking piss take.
Well, I'll save like more discussion for it for the podcast. But I did watch that documentary on iPlayer of Konami funded this guy to get a bionic arm built, and it was kind of like partially designed around Metal Gear stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that documentary, if you hadn't played / completed the game, you get pretty much shown the ending of the game in a 30-minute documentary on iPlayer. I was like, you're fucking kidding me.
Well, ending of
Yeah.
Lucky
MGS5.
Ben didn't watch that then.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh yeah, we can't really say any. I don't know. No, that's fine.
Well, we can't. We won't talk about Metal Gear in this. We can do another podcast for that. We're all massive fans of Metal Gear, but
I just mean there's certain people.
I
we
used to
know
be a
that
fan of
haven't
Metal
played this
Gear.
shit.
oh come on, you still got like the old ones.
No, my Metal Gear 5 made me hate Metal Gear Solid 1. That's the biggest sin it did.
Really?
Really?
I
No,
just
I'm joking.
I just ignore 5. Like, if I feel 5 is going to impede on the other previous games, I just ignore it. Like, I don't really care.
Well, take it this way. Sorry, carry on, dude.
I was gonna say, like, it's annoying. I don't want to spoil it yet, 'cause, yeah. But
We'll do a podcast.
the ending of that game, most people probably know anyway. But the way
Yeah.
it's just such a fucking Kojima thing to do.
Not a real Metal Gear game anyway. David Hayter's not on it, so it can't be Metal Gear.
Whoa, hang on, Phil. Okay, just all right, back up there. All right, you're hinting too much. Okay, people are going to pick it up. They're going to be like, what does he mean? It's not a real Metal Gear game? What?
Cliffhanger.
But it's so fun to play. That's the only downside to it. Although it does get repetitive. Like I only find it got repetitive after like 15 hours of playing it. So but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit iffy with that game.
Well, before we end it, we're about to hit our hour, I think. Any final words on Uncharted 4, our topic for the day?
I think we've spoken enough about fucking Uncharted 4, but yeah, go on.
If you're any sort of Uncharted fan, you better pick up this game because you're going to regret it because it's the greatest gaming experience you can have on a PS4.
Or wait until it comes out on Xbox One.
No, but seriously, if you're even a Sony fan and you haven't played any of the other Uncharted fans, just pick this game up. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, sell your Xbox One and buy a PS4 to play it.
My final words were on Uncharted 4. Like, I've always enjoyed the Uncharted, never really been super engrossed in them, but I've enjoyed them. 4 I could not put down from the day of getting it to finishing it. And even a few days after that, I was just like, this game is so good. It's definitely the best thing you can play on PS4. Possibly even one of the best games on Sony consoles in general, to be honest.
Ooh, that's a big claim,
It is.
Phil.
It really is.
Phil.
It was just that good.
That's bold words.
I've never been that engrossed in a game like that before. I mean, I loved The Last of Us, but Uncharted 4 just did that a little bit more for me, I think.
It's definitely up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's time to end, really, guys. It's been over an hour, so I think it's time to,
Anyway, this is thanks for listening to our podcast. So I'm Nick. I'll see you later.
And I'm Phil as well. And if you've enjoyed the podcast.
Yes,
yeah. What's your name, Kurt? Go.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.